And we are live. Hello, everybody, and welcome to GameDay Squad's Aussie Rules live stream. This is for round 9. We're going to get into it today. We've just got the two fellas that you can see in front of you, myself, Tom, and I've got my co-host in Kerm. Kerm, mate, how are you going today?
Mate, I'm really good. This is a little bit nostalgic for GDS fans who have been around since the start. You might remember that Tom and I had our own NFL fantasy show, and we used
We
to do
did.
that together back in the day. So this is a little bit of a nostalgic trip down memory lane. I love it.
Oh, mate, no one else I'd rather go in to a show with, brother. You absolutely got that right. But why we are here, guys, we are here and brought to you because of Game Day Squad. Create, coach, and compete. If you don't know what it is, we're going to be talking about Game Day Squad just a little bit in this live stream. So what I'd recommend is going to our website, signing up today. It is free if you are new around here. If you're an expert and you know what's about to happen, we have got plenty coming up in this live show. First of all, Kerm is going to get his crystal ball out. He's going to try to run us through all the news. We're going to show you our teams that we're going to be starting or most likely be starting. You know what we're like. We make changes before lockout. Other than that, we got a little mailbag. We got some user submitted questions by you guys, so we'll answer them. We'll go into our buy, sell, sell, which personally is my favorite.
Yeah.
What we do there is we get to put up some cards for 1 cent for you guys. So stay tuned for that and get that app downloaded so you can snag them up nice and quick. And then we'll run through the lock of the round to finish it all off. Kerm, I'm pretty excited for this live stream, mate. So let's get into it. Why don't you get out your crystal ball and give us the team news?
I absolutely will try and do my very best. But before we get stuck into the team news, I just want to say get your comments in and we'll try our best to answer them throughout the show. Tom and I will be keeping a lookout on the comments. So any questions, any news you can give us, send them in and we'll try our best to highlight them. But in league team news, we've got actually quite a bit to get through here. Quite exciting times. And the first part is arguably the most exciting, and it's that Geelong have named 2022 pick 8 draft pick Jai Clark to get a run this weekend. So there's a draftee for GDS coaches to wrap their hands around and hopefully get a good look at what he's about this weekend. But the downside to that is he will be, however, filling the gap of one of your faves, Tom, Paddy Dangerfield, who is expected to spend a good chunk of time on the timeline. But exciting times nonetheless for Jai Clark and any of those coaches out there who own his player card. For the Saints, big dog and popular ruck Rowan Marshall left the game early last week. Hands in mouth, tongue mouth moments for coaches out there, but he is allegedly in no harm to miss this week. Thank God he will be playing in week 9. For the Melbourne Demons, defender Christian Salem is cleared to come back to action this week, which is a good reprieve for them. And I'm actually quite excited by this because I'm keen to see if Angus Brayshaw is going to move up the ground again with Christian Salem back into that defensive slot that he plays so well. So keen to see how that shakes out.
Great call.
Really excited to see how that goes. Up in Brisbane, I don't actually know why I said up in Brisbane, given I live in Cairns. But anyway, up in Brisbane, Dane Zorko is expected to be available from his hamstring injury earlier than initially first thought, which is a big boost for Brizzy and fantasy coaches who love a boom or bust point of difference player. So think about Dane Zorko and your selections with him this weekend. Essendon look like they're going to be without defender Jordan Ridley after suffering a nasty concussion last round.
That was bad.
Yeah, not good footage. Not good footage that anybody wants to see. And he should spend the weekend off this week, I would imagine. Another one of your boys, Tom, and this is big news because he has been in quite good form, but it is Adam Treloar. He is out for the Western Bulldogs and looks to be sidelined for up to 2 weeks with a hammy complaint. Not good for Tom, your land over there. We're thinking of you. I know you love yourself a little bit of Adam Treloar, but it looks like he'll be out on the sidelines for.
It's very disappointing. Yeah, unfortunate.
Very disappointing. But the silver lining is, and I'd be completely straight up honest with everybody, I don't know anything about this guy, but James O'Donnell will be making his debut for the Western Bulldogs. As I said, I quite literally know nothing about him other than he has signed as a Category B player only 35 days ago. So a little bit of a surprise selection there for the Bulldogs, and I'm keen to see what he can produce on the weekend.
Yeah, I think the most exciting, or we don't want to get excited over people's injuries, right? But we've spoken about Bailey Smith this year and how disappointing he has been. Now, Treloar's been in and amongst that midfield, getting plenty of touches. is it time to unleash the Smith from the years prior? Oh, I hope so. I really do hope so. But let's get into the next part of the show. We're going to do a little pack opening. Now,
Yes.
it's not going to be as extravagant as weeks prior. What I actually do have is I have my reward pack. I finished within the top 20 last week, and a lot of people got their rewards last night. So if you did finish within the top 20, check your emails, get them open, maybe join us along with the ride. But I just wanted to open it on the live stream because last week we were giving some really good legend vibes. You know, we had that good energy up. So let's get the energy up again, I reckon, Kerm.
I can feel it. It's milky vibes here tonight. I'm feeling like we're going to see some red.
I know, man. I know. I feel like every time, shout out to Hef, but I always check out his live stream and I'm telling him, I'm like, man, I'm bringing those legend vibes. So bring the legend vibes to me if you're watching. Please, we need them. But without further ado, these are the two we're going to open up later for our buy, sell, sell. This is the big boy I'm talking about, a unique 9-player pack. Let's get right into it.
Come on.
It's a beautiful animation.
That is what we want to see, Thomas.
Alrighty. I do like to go over, you know. I'm a bit of a sucker for it.
3 diamonds.
Okay, no legend this time. No legend this time, but it's okay.
3 diamonds though, you'll take that.
We do take those. We take those.
Come on, something a
right.
little bit.
We'll leave that. We'll leave that fella. Graham, all right.
Oh, okay.
I didn't actually mean to open that, but I'm not mad about it. I'll tell you what, Diamond Luke Jackson. Now,
Dude.
Kerm, if I'm not mistaken, you actually played a Luke Jackson last week. Is that right?
He got the late snip. I would have loved to have played him, but I think it was Zach Butters who got the nod in the end. Oh my god!
You don't like to see that though.
I mean, there's worse players to get duplicates of. That is
true.
Damn. Okay. Well, this one's
surely not a triple, right? Wow.
Well, at least he's one of your boys. But Luke Jackson, let me just double check what he scored last weekend very quickly because it was his best game so far this year.
It was his best game of the season so
135
far.
GDS fantasy points for arguably the best dynasty ruckman in the league, and you just got 2 diamonds, mate. You got to be happy with that.
Absolutely, dude. But just to look at the dupes, double dupes in there. I know it's my boy from the Swans. Like I get it, but man. That hurts. Like, give me some variety. I need some of these bigger cards. But you know what? We can't complain. You are right, Luke Jackson. I'm maybe being a little bit too selfish right now. I know. I just want the best cards. Yes, yes. But let's get into our teams now. So, Kermy, this week you're going to start it off. You're in the champion competition. Take it away. Who you're starting? Why you're doing it? Let everyone know.
Yeah, so the big news is I've retained the big red guy down the back there, Will Powell. I was very happy with him last week. He scored 123 GDS fantasy points, and he's got the West Coast Eagles this weekend, which is a tantalizing opponent for Will Powell. And I think Ben Long is going to miss this weekend. We didn't mention that in the team news because he's not as fantasy relevant, but that's only a good thing for Will Powell. So he's retained his spot. The big out in the defenders for me is James Sicily, and I've sort of just I lost patience with him. It's too many low scores below the 90, 100 triple-digit mark. Yeah. Very up and down season. He tends to play that lockdown defender role more this year. He's not getting out as much. He's not taking as many kick-ins. It seems to be Blake Hardwick that is taking most of the kick-ins so far this year. So I've replaced him with Hayden Young, who is in incredible form. In the past 2 games, 120 GDS fantasy points and 131 GDS fantasy points. So a lot of people are excited by his prospects coming into the season, and he's finally starting to hit his straps. So I'm hopefully going to tack in and hope that his 3-game average keeps on going. And if it does, I'll be a very happy man. My midfield is a ruck. I haven't changed a thing. I've brought Sammy Walsh into the bench for LDU, who just isn't looking himself at the moment. But call. For my starter midfielders, there's not much I can really do. I wish I had a Rory Laird. I don't have a Rory Laird. Otherwise, he would be in there for likely Jack Steele. And Jack Steele might come out for Sammy Walsh. Well, a lot of changes will probably be made tomorrow, but that might be one of them. Sammy Walsh is an interesting one, if I could talk about him for a little bit. His CBAs at the moment aren't mimicking what we would have thought. I think he had 48% last week, which for him Sammy Walsh.
low. That's really low for him.
Yeah, very, very low. We would expect someone like Sammy Walsh to be in the mid 80s at least. I know he's coming off an interrupted off season, but for someone of Sammy Walsh's caliber, we should be hoping for that mid 80s. And I don't know what Vossi's thinking, but it seems to be George Hewitt who's playing that role inside. And I know he loves a cuddle, but you can't tell me Sammy Walsh doesn't either. So that is the only thing that worries me with Walsh. His scoring is unbelievable. He hasn't fallen below 110 GDS fantasy points. It's just that role that's putting me off a little bit. In the forward line is where some changes could be made tomorrow. I've got Jason Johannesson in there at the moment, plugged into my F4, as you can see there.
Wow.
Yeah, he played well last week. He got 108 GDS fantasy points, but I might go for something that might get me a little bit more bang for buck, maybe a boom or bust player, but hopefully they boom. Because I like the look of the rest of my forward line, Josh Dunkley, Cornelio, Taranto, very vanilla, and then Connor Rosie and Zach Butters. Zach Butters was incredible last week, and I love watching him. So he's going to be a mainstay for me for a little bit over these next few rounds. But as always, Pep Guardiola mind, there's going to be changes tomorrow. Lose sleep tonight thinking about my team. Excited nonetheless for the round to start. What about yours, mate?
Yeah, but look, I'll tell you, before we move on to mine, let's get one last little peek at that legend card. Gosh, that looks good, Kerm.
It does, doesn't it? It looks very tasty down back. Willie Power, I'm a Suns fan, so I like it, and he's playing very, very well.
He does. But we'll move on to my team. So I've made a couple changes this week. We'll start from the back line. The back line's practically the same, but what I've done is I've benched Jackie Sinclair, and I've upgraded my bronze Doherty to a gold Doherty, as you can see there. So I got Luke Ryan as a replacement for Sinclair right now. I am also thinking about, I do have a gold Hayden Young, and I'm thinking about whether I downgrade my Doherty back to his bronze and then replace Sicily like yourself. But I've been playing Sicily for a while. I just have this love for him. I don't know if I can bench him, but it's probably the smarter thing to do. I don't know. I don't know if Will Day and Sicily is the call, but as of right now, it looks like I might be starting them. What's your thoughts on that?
A lot of people do have this attachment to James Sicily, and it was because he was so good last year. He finished as a top 6 midfielder. He's a safety blanket for a lot of people, and he does have the ability to go in GDS scoring 150, 160 plus quite easily. So I don't blame you. It's just his role scares me off a little bit this week. So I wouldn't blame you if you started him, but just not for me this week.
Yeah, fair call. But as I said, so if I did take Sicily out, it'd be a downgrading to Doherty back to his bronze form and getting a gold Hayden Young in that spot. And I probably have a little bit left over, so then maybe I'd go Tim English to Silver, just so everyone's on page. Everyone knows what I'm going to do. But let's go to the midfield here. So Andy Brayshaw, Silver, is back in.
Yep.
Yeah, gosh, I would have loved to have played him last week. Goodness, he was fantastic. And Callum said it before, but he thinks Andy Brayshaw is back. And Kerm, I think you did. You were starting him, and I think I do as well. He's back in my team. I've got newfound confidence in him. I've got Darcy Parish. He's been really solid for me.
Yeah.
Tom Green, who might be my pickup of the year. I said it on the show before. Yes, I did trade for a silver Sheasel, but my silver Tom Green might be better than that. And that's just how highly I'm regarding Tom Green right now. He's been unreal. My Noah Anderson's in there. He's been a point of difference player for me over the past couple of weeks. And if you do have a Noah Anderson and you need a spot to fill, get him in your team. Look at his form. This guy is, Kerm, I think you talked a little bit on the show on Monday about his role in that Demons game with the Gold Coast Suns and how you thought that it wouldn't even be a game if Noah Anderson wasn't out on that pitch.
He was next level. I'm actually flipping on him a little bit this week, and it's only because of Adam Simpson. He came out today and said that Ruben Jimby might go to him. It looks like Ruben Jimby's going to go to him and tag him, spend a little bit of time with him. I love him though, and if anybody in the Suns team is going to break a tag, it's going to be Noah. He can do it in any single way. He can score points in every single way. He can impact the scoreboard. He can lay a tackle. He's got a positive kick to handball ratio. He's an owner's dream, but that Jimby news does actually scare me quite a little later on. But yeah, that's where my head's at with Noah for coaches out there.
Yeah, fair call, mate. Fair call. Let's move on to the Rucks, Team English. And anyone who's watching, who last week panicked when Team English didn't score 180 like Rowan Marshall and thought Rowan Marshall is going to be that guy and subbed him in? There's got to be a couple that are watching right now.
100%. 100% there will be.
Because guess who didn't? It's this guy right here. Because Team English has been doing this all year. What Rowan Marshall did in 1 week, Team English is consistently outputting like that. So he just, for me, is on another level right now. And I just can't warrant, even if it is a good matchup for Rowan, it's like set and forget. He's one of the only players that I'm thinking right now is set and forget in my team. Everyone else could be moved technically. Back to the forwards, or up to the forwards, let's say. Man, Jack Siebel. I don't know if anyone's seen that there. I've gone the double North Melbourne. Jack Siebel and Harry Sheasel. A little bit of a rhyme there. I'm liking this little combination. I didn't think, if you asked me before the season, that I'd be playing 2 North Melbourne players in my forward line. I'd probably laugh at you, but now they are some of the best players to have. So I'm super stoked with that. I've got my gold Taranto, gold Cornelio. I don't need to talk too much about them. They have been some of the best forwards all year. Yeah. They just 8 points. I'm still trusting in my bronze Errol Goulden, and especially after last week, 195. You bloody beauty. And then Dunkley to round it off there as well, a bronze who I think had 199. So even better. If I had Zeeble last week, that would have been a good play, but unfortunately I didn't. So that rounds off the team this week. I'm only really thinking about replacing Sicily, and if I do, then I'll upgrade Tim English into that silver form. But I'm very happy with the squad so far and what they've been doing this season. And what was even better is beating Callum last week. And surprise, surprise, no show, gets beaten, puts me on the hot seat. I don't know what else to say, but we'll move on.
I live for it, bro. The rivalry on the show, the classic league rivalry, I love it so much.
But everybody, I'm going to quickly shout out our Discord competition. And if you're not a part of our Discord already, I would really highly recommend to do so, because what we do there is we have plenty of different chats where we're talking about trades, pack openings, or you can just ask for general advice from other GameDay Squad coaches. But there's a competition tab there as well. And what we ask from you every single week is to guess who's going to be the highest scoring fantasy player for that round. And if you can get that correctly, you get a 3 times player common pack coming your way. Additionally, if you add the score with it as well, and you can guess the exact score on top of the 3 times common player pack, we'll chuck in a rare pack 3 times as well, just to juice up that team a little bit further. So I will say again, the Discord is free to join. All of us are in there. If you just want to come have a chat, or if you want to get involved, by all means, please come along. It's plenty of fun. Plenty of fun. But let's move on. We got our mailbag, and I want to pull up this comment here quickly before we get into it. Timo, I respect it, brother.
Oh, no.
I respect it. He was one of the Rowan Marshall players. It was very unfortunate.
It happens.
If you're still around, Timo, are you playing Team English this week? I'd love to know. I would love to know that. But Kerm, take it away, mate, with our mailbag.
Yeah, mate. So speaking of the Discord, we get these questions from the Discord, from the community, which we like to answer on the live show, because we get to bring you guys, the coaches out there, onto our show. And to kick things off, Tom, I'll kick it off with you. This one's from the Mighty Hoss. And it is Chera, Walsh, Akers, or just all 3 of them?
Wow, you honestly, there's a really strong case for all 3. If you're looking at that 3-round average right now with these players, they are really, really hot. Like, I know with Doherty coming back as well, Doherty had a great game, but they're still playing out of this world, even with the likes of Doherty back. I think all 3, man. I'm going to be honest with you. But to be fair, I would say that Walsh for me is probably that higher end of the 3. Walsh just has impressed me so much this season, because if he's not getting it done with kicks, it's by getting a cuddle in or 2, and man, unreal player. But dude, I guess it depends on your depth. But if you played all 3, I don't think anyone's blinking an eye and thinking what a horrible decision or what a bad choice. Like, I think that's money.
Dude, not in the form that Carlton are in. They are just producing points for fun at the moment. And like, just on Adam Chera, he has spent 3 weeks in a row now in the top 3 top scorers for midfielders each week. He is in just stupid form.
Yeah.
Stupid form. Blake Acres as well, you could make a case, and Sammy Walsh is Sammy Walsh. So I don't mind the chat of all three. Cheryl Walsh duo might be the go. Acres is still a little bit prone to that boom or bust, but if the ball's getting in his hands, he loves a kick and a mark as well. So not bad advice there from you, Tom. We'll move on to the next question, and I'll direct this one at myself. It's from Fighting Fury. He says, is it time to go all in on Noah Anderson, particularly with the matchup with West Coast this week? Now, we spoke about it a little bit earlier on in the show with the Ruben Jimby news from Adam Simpson saying that Jimby was going to go to Anderson with a little bit of attention, maybe the tag. We don't know whether it's going to be a full tag, soft tag, so many different ways that you can tag. We saw with Nick Takos last week, borderline assault bullying. But in terms of a dynasty prospect, Noah Anderson for me has to be in that at least second tier conversation now. I don't think he's hit the point of Andrew Brayshaw's. I think he can chuck Tom Green up in that Andrew Brayshaw conversation now. I think he can chuck Sammy Walsh up into the end of that. But Noah Anderson has got to be just behind those two at the three at the very, very least for midfielders. He is so good. And as I said, the way he scores points is with every single way. Impact the scoreboard, kick to handball ratio is positive. Can take it, loves a tackle. He just gets around the ground so much, and his role up at the Suns is rock solid. I mean, if you're not Touk Miller, you're not Matt Rowley, you're not Noah Anderson, and they're all healthy, you're not getting a run in that midfield. So Noah Anderson for me is about as strong as they come for midfielders, and maybe this week is a little bit of a risk because of the Jimby news, but rest of season and dynasty, I don't think he can do much better.
And man, when he's kicking sausage rolls out there, his game goes to another level. You know that we favour scoring here at GameDay Squad, and he's been kicking some this year, brother. It's been really impressive to see from Big Noah.
He is a good footy player and makes being a Suns fan just that little bit easier. But we'll move on from that Noah Anderson talk now. I could talk about him all night. We'll both answer this last question here, Tom, and it's from our guy, the Warner Bros, and he says, has there been a trade or transaction you've made this year that you regret? Do you want to kick this one off?
Yeah, I will. And beforehand, Timo, he's locked in Tim English for the rest of the season. My brother, that's exactly what to do. Get him in there. He is the man. But great question. I would say I do. And I just sort of uncovered who the player was, but without actually directly telling you. I got myself a bronze Zeeble, but I didn't necessarily explain how I got it. So I gave up gold Grundy for him. And the thing is, I knew I was overpaying and it wasn't a good deal, but I had 4 gold Grundys in the club. And it got to a point where, and I think some people need to adopt this mindset, is that are you going to compete for this like weekly competition or seasonal competition or not? Because I think by getting Zeeble and being more competitive over the year, I will easily find a replacement for that gold Grundy that I gave up in terms of capital. So although I think I still got robbed, and whoever was on the other end of it is probably laughing right now going, yeah, you did. I got about 4 bronze Zeebles and you gave me a gold Grundy. But I'm not terribly sad about it. But yeah, I definitely got the worst end of the deal.
It happens. Sometimes you got to go that extra mile to get the trade over the line. And the transfer market, to be honest, is still a new concept to the GameDay Squad platform. So a lot of people are throwing away a lot of trades early doors in that. But for me, I think the one I regret the most would be the guy we've talked about a lot on the show so far, and it's Tim English. I had 1 platinum Tim English card, and I was coming into the season red hot on Jack McRae. I thought he's going to come back and be a top 5 midfielder. He's going to be like the Jack McRae of old, get those CBAs, 100% midfield time.
I don't like where this is going.
I traded my only plat Tim English for a platinum Jack McRae. And I mean, the severity of that is Tim English is the highest averaging player in the competition right now. And Jack McRae has been absolutely bevoed. Bevo, I don't know what Jack McRae's done to Bevo, but he can't get a run in through the midfield. So there's something going on behind the scenes there, I'm sure of it. And I am salty because of that trade, and I regret it.
That stinks.
It kept me up at night as the season goes along, because all those 160
Man, that is, oh, dude, that really does sting. But hindsight can do that to you, and that is the beauty and the beast of the game. And that's why we love the transfer market and the concept of trading so much. But what we're going to do now, this is our favorite part of the show. And for everyone who is still here, this is what you're here for, I'm sure. It's because you want to be picking up cards that we're going to get for a cent on the transfer market. I will be listing all of them at some point tonight, and I like to scatter it around so everyone gets a bit of the pie. So be on the hunt, be on the lookout. But yeah, let's get into it. I'll get the packs ready to go, get them open, and we can do this. Kerm, the thing is, would you like to start, or do you want to give me the honors of first pack this week? What do you want to do?
I'll give you the honors for the first pack. I don't think the red energy is gone completely from the night. I feel like I want to keep the energy up here.
All right. Let's do it. No, that's not the animation.
That's not what we want, Tom.
It could be for you, though. That's the thing. Maybe you knew that this is what was happening, and you went, well, I'm going to snag the legend next.
Imagine.
Let's do it.
A silver and a silver. Lloyd
Meeky. Oh, Tommy Papley, it's my boy. Jeremy Himlayson, everyone. It's now Himlayson.
This is going to test you, Tom, because obviously you're a Swan supporter, and Papley is an okay asset. But you said it after the show last week, earlier on in the week. You said you are the sole resider of Jeremy Himlayson Island. So this is going to test you, man.
I am, and I'm gonna keep my faith with Himlayson. I'll be honest with you, and the only reason is that I know I have a silver Tommy Papley already in the club, and I want to diversify. So that's not a horrible thing, though. It means that the other two cards there, Meeks and Papley, will be going up for a cent. So that could be a nice little upgrade for someone in their forward pack.
Absolutely, that's a good keep, though, Tom.
Here we go.
It's all about the animation here.
Oh, I thought it was going to explode and be the one. All right.
Almost. Well, there's a platinum in here at least.
There is. All right.
Platty, silver. Marble.
All righty.
Mark Blixarves.
And
Troy Brown, I want to say. See, this is obviously the Brown card is a platinum and higher rarity, but I'll go with Mark Blixarves. I'll put the platinum on the transfer market for a cent, and someone can have Marby or Chol. I am a Suns fan, as I said, but Chol as a fantasy asset is not going to get me too far. Blixarves as a sole ruckman is a very good fantasy player, and if he can get a run at that, I'll be very happy with that card.
There you go. Platty going up for a cent. That's gonna. Doesn't matter who it is, really. That's a good good buy. Very good value. Exactly right. Before we move on, I'll have that up there, but we got a question from Jonathan Turner throughout this. And it's, hey, boys, loving the show. So appreciate you, mate. Thanks for being along and coming along for the ride. But
absolutely.
Been playing NRL fantasy for a while and GameDay Squad, mind you. So he's finally decided to crack into the AFL. And we love people who love both, because we also play both, as we've mentioned before. But Kerm, what's your best tip for someone who's coming in, who's very new to the scene? How do they help upgrade their team?
Well, first, my first bit of advice would be jump on the Discord and ask for any assistance that anyone has on there. We've got a good community on there, so jump in. And if you have any questions about selections or injuries, blah, 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 et cetera, it goes on for days. Jump on the Discord and ask some questions there. I'm sure the community would be happy to help. But my own personal bit of advice would be try and zig when others are zagging. And that's when we call on the point of difference players that are out in the league, because we're finding a lot of teams now always have, your Clayton Olivers, always have your Josh Dunkleys, always have your Nick Dacosses, but don't be afraid to zig when others are zagging, because that's when you get the leg up. And if those weeks do play off and come off for you, you're most of the time you're going to rocket up the leaderboard for the most part. So that would be my own little personal piece of advice. But the big advice would be go jump on the Discord and get active.
Beautiful bit of advice. And I might quickly hop in. One of my favorite things that I've been doing all year this year My team's core has stayed quite similar, but these bits and pieces that I'm adding is all via trade. So use that transfer market. And if you have a duplicate of a particular card, go see what you can go get for him.
Yeah.
List a couple players that you're looking for, a couple different rarities. Just feel out the market, what they're valuing the player for, because it's going to help you in the long run. And the more you at least try, eventually you're going to get some nibbles, you're going to get some bites, and you might get a bargain. But Kerm, take it away, mate. Lock of the round.
Yeah, the last segment of the show, mate. Lock of the round. It's starting to get interesting, despite what Callum will say on a Monday morning show. But the community is still hanging in there. You can see the community, Tom and myself, all 4 from 8, all with different points. But Cal is 6 for 8, and you can see the little exclamation point. He was stitched up with LDU being a late scratching earlier on in the year, but he is running away with it. 705 points. You yourself on 512. I'm on 467, trying to make my way back up, and the community doing very well in second place, 515 points. So that's what it looks like going into round 9. If you head to the next screen, we've got the lock of the round for round 9. Now, Tom, I was dreading you seeing this. I have got Callum's lock of the round. He didn't give it on Monday's show. You can see there, Noah Anderson.
No. All right.
Keep a lid on it. Try and keep a lid on it a little bit.
Let me cook, man. Let me cook. Because on that show, he makes this big deal about how he's going to announce it on the weekend. And I said, what's the bet you copy me because I got it right, or Kerm, from the week prior? And I literally had Noah Anderson for 133 GameDay Squad Fantasy points. And this guy has the audacity to keep this from us. And I find out that he literally copied me and went less. That's the thing that hurts the most, is I've been up these guys all year about not putting in enough points, because Kerm, you're like nearly 80 points behind me, 70 points behind me. You got the same amount right.
I know. And it did hurt me to put that Noah Anderson card in there, because I know what it would do to you mentally. But it's all just mental games, mate. It's a long season. We got a lot of rounds to go. And you have your semi-Welsh card there for 133 points, which is a very big score. If he pulls that off, you will be laughing. And I've gone with Nick Dacos's brother, Josh, for 115 points. That would be, I know 115 is a lot, right? Sorry, not a lot. But Josh Dacos, that would be well above his Game Day Squad average. So I'm very nervous with that game. Late on Sunday, the very last game of the round, I will be nervous all weekend. But you can see there the question marks for the Game Day Squad community. I've reached out, and one of our guys, one of the OGs of Game Day Squad footy, played all last year, the mighty Hoss. We love him. He's so active on the Discord. One of our favorites because he is an OG. He's been around since the start, and he's very, very active.
Legend.
He has locked in Rory Laird for 135 GDS fantasy points.
Oh, choice as well. Choice
very
of a player.
Good choice. Very, very good choice. So his eyes will be peeled on that game. I'm excited. Hopefully the community can claw back some points on Callum. And yeah, we'll see what happens come the end of the round.
Absolutely. And guys, that is going to wrap it up for this live stream for round 9. Thank you so much for everyone who's checked in, left comments, and engaged with us throughout. And as you know, this is probably the best time for you, because those cards are going to be getting up soon on the transfer market for a cent. So keep your eyes peeled, get your apps out, keep refreshing, do what you need to do. They're going to be there very soon for you. But thank you so much again for checking in with us. We are here because of Game Day Squad. We can't wait for round 9, and hopefully my Swans can win a game sometime soon. We'll check in with you guys later. Have a good one. Peace out.